Hey class. Okay, so for my topic, I decided to talk about um, more of the female aspect of how basically females had to reevaluate their lives because of men and what men feel like they should be doing. So the first thing I want to start with the joy of motherhood. While while we think the joy comes from being a mother, as we saw towards the end of the book, that it was really her sorrow. Like her children caused her sorrow, not so much because of her having them, obviously, because her whole life she was taught you're supposed to have kids, you're supposed to take care of the house, you're supposed to be basically as we know today, a housewife or stay-at-home mom. And without people realizing how much we really like that can really mess up your identity of who you think you are and what you're capable of doing. So if I'm constantly being told I'm supposed to be a stay-at-home mom, and I'm supposed to have kids, and I'm supposed to take care of the kids, and basically my life is not as valuable if I don't have kids, and if I'm not taking care of my kids, it's not as valuable. And if you notice in a lot of the novels that women don't have strong roles. There are main characters, but they don't have strong roles. They don't have a woman that's going to work constantly, taking the roles of a man. And I think that that's one thing that kind of like messes with the identity where we talk about the African versus identity. It's their culture for women to stay home, cook, and take care of the kids. And while even if you think forward to Things Fall Apart. Things Fall Apart is about a book. It's a book about women coming up, not so much women coming to age, but the African culture, and it focuses a little bit on women. And because it has that focus on women, it shows us a little bit of how women are expected to act. Just like in Things Fall Apart compared to Joy of Mother, both of the mothers are stay-at-home moms. Both of the mothers are obligated to cook, obligated to take care of the kids and serve underneath their husband. And you know, when we talk about colonization, or we talk about how Europeans came to these countries, this was the only thing that I felt the Europeans actually contribute to the African culture, is that they changed the aspect of the roles of a woman. While yes, it took a long time for women to actually get roles, when the Europeans came, it was women that were fighting on the side of their husbands. It was women taking care of the people who are being beaten. And so I just kind of feel the identity aspect was switched through colonization. And we want to talk about this diaspora of, you know, the spread of people. A lot of cultures outside of the American culture believed women should be stay-at-home moms and men should go do the work. But they don't understand, if I'm not a mother, if I'm not a housewife, just a wife in general, who am I? If the only thing I'm good at or able to do is cook and clean, who am I? And I feel that's where the identity arises for women. I'm not so much looking at the men, because the effect of these books don't have an effect on men. They have an effect on women. The age coming of women is completely different from the age coming of men. Age coming of men, they're able to work, they're able to go to school, they're able to basically grow and learn as they need to so-called be a man. But as a woman, we are taught we need to find love, we need to get married, we need to bear children, and without these things, we are nobody. So it comes to say that now that we live in a society where women are able to work and women are able to have their own identity, a lot of women are confused on what to do. Okay, I'm not going to have kids. I'm not going to be a housewife. So what is there out there for me? And I feel like in all the novels we read, we see this struggle for women to understand who they are outside of their men. And it's sad that it's repeated over and over and over in multiple novels, because that means that was their culture. So women were not, while they played an important role, obviously, they didn't have a true role in life besides taking care of kids. Who wants to take care of kids their whole life? Now that my kids are all grown, I can't bear children. Now I'm invaluable. Now I'm not worth being a wife anymore, or now I'm not worth love because I can't have kids. And that's how I received a lot of it from the book, because that's when at the end of the Mother of Joy, she kills herself in the end, or she dies in the end, however you want to take the perspective. She's dead in the end, and it's because I personally feel like she doesn't know who she is anymore. She's gotten rid of her kids. She's done everything society has told her she was supposed to do. Now that her kids are grown, her husband doesn't love her the same, now who is she as a person? And I feel that's the struggle that even women struggle with in America today, is the struggle of just figuring out who we are and where we belong in this earth, because we're constantly being told that, oh, you are a mother, you are a wife, you are this, you are that, but no one ever thinks I am a woman first. If I get a job, I'm still a woman, and I can still have kids, and I can still be a wife, and I can still go home and clean. It's like society says you can't have both, and the culture, the African culture, is saying you can't have both either. So of course there will be an identity crisis. There will be an identity fight, because you don't know who you are outside of being a mother or being a wife. You're a woman first. You're someone's daughter. You're not always the mother, the caretaker. You can be the provider. You can be multiple things and still be a mother, and still be a wife, and still have your own identity. And I feel like the African culture throughout these novels tried to hide identities of women, and they tried to take away self-acknowledgements, I feel like, because women lose something about their self. Okay, now that I don't have kids, what will I do with my spare time? Now that my husband doesn't love me no more, am I valuable of being loved? So I do see the identity crisis between the African culture and women within the African culture. And if we're talking about from a literary analysis from the novels that we have read, this is just one of the main issues, demographics I saw that really pointed out in the book. So have a good Christmas break, you guys.